talk about traveling waves. And fundamentally, here's what a traveling wave is. You have a disturbance in the elastic medium, and it leads to a traveling wave. And this is something I showed last Friday, but doggone it, it's worth showing again. Here's a disturbance in the elastic medium, and it leads to a traveling wave that travels through. So ball hitting the tummy. Oh, and this one right here, boom. And you get a wave which travels outward. The wave is the disturbance that propagates outward. That's an example of a traveling wave right there. Whenever you have an elastic medium, you can have a traveling wave. And I'm going to show you some examples of traveling waves that we have. Here's an example. I've got these metal rods, and they're fastened onto this. There's a thin metal rod that runs down the center. Now, if I take one of these rods and I pull it down, there's a restoring force. I've tweaked this rod in the center, and there's a restoring force that brings it back to where it started from. Oh, that's what I mean by an elastic medium. It works like a spring. It wants to go back to where it came from. Except here's the thing. This piece of the medium is connected to this piece because they're all connected to the same thing. So when I pull this one down, this one pulls down too. When I pull this one down, it comes back up. But there's a disturbance that I've created, and it'll travel. So if I take this and I pull it down and pull it back up, I get a disturbance which goes down, and then it comes back, bounces off the ends. And so I have this elastic medium, and I have a traveling wave. And if I make the wave go up, oh, yeah. I love this thing. Now, a couple of properties about waves. Here's the first one. The speed of the wave is determined by the properties of the medium. They're determined by how big the rods are, how heavy the rods are, and how stiff this thing is in the center. If I make a slow wave, or I make a fast wave, they both travel at the same speed. They both travel at the same speed because it's fixed by the properties of that. If I make a little tiny wave, or if I make a really big wave, they travel at the same speed. Now, the medium's moving faster, but the wave itself isn't. The properties of the system determine how fast the wave travels. Okay? Now, that's one type of wave. And this is an example of it's called a transverse wave. We'll talk more about what those definitions mean next time. But the medium's going up and down like this. The wave is going in this way. It's not the medium that travels. It's the wave that travels. Okay? And it's the properties of the medium that fix the wave speed. And I have Alex and Peter are going to help me out with the demonstration here. So I want you to go ahead and hold on to one end of heavens to Betsy. Is it an elastic medium? Heck yeah. So we're going to pull this back. And can you hold this? Can you hold it up like this so people can see it? Oh yeah. And what we're going to do is this. You two are like, it is heavy, isn't it? But you folks are, if it takes both hands, you can use both hands. Okay. And if I shake it here, oh, a wave travels down and goes back and forth. Oh, yes, and Peter is not content to wait for me to shake it. Oh, yeah. Waves going back and forth between brother and sister here. Now, we're going to try something here. I want you to come closer together. Come closer together. Now it's not so stiff. And go ahead and hold it up in the air. And I'm going to give it a shake. Now it's kind of a slow wave, okay? Now if we take it and you back up, let's back up. You can use both hands to hold it. It's going to get stretchy. Hold it up, hold it up. And now if I send the wave, ooh, speedy, speedy. So I've taken this thing and stretched it, and I've made the wave go much more quickly. And so I can change properties of the medium, and I can make the wave speed change. But that's a crucial piece of this. This one, I can change the properties of the medium, and I do that. I change the wave speed. And we're going to look at a couple of specific examples where that happens. Now I'm going to do a sound wave. And a sound wave works like this. I'm going to take this speaker, and I'm going to crank it up all the way at 1 hertz. Okay? And now you can see the speaker cone moving in and out. And here's the thing. When a stereo speaker is playing, it's doing this. It's going in and out. And what it does is it pushes out and it compresses the air in front of it. So it compresses the air in front of it, and then that sends a wave out into the room. It's just like this. You push on it, and it sends a wave. And that wave of compression, travels out into the room, is like, bam, hits you. Now, you don't sense it. And the reason you don't sense it is because you're not built to sense things which oscillate at 1 hertz. But your ears are built to sense things which oscillate at like 100 hertz. So I'm going to change this to 100 hertz. The cone is still going to vibrate back and forth. It's still doing this. But it's sending pulses of waves to you not once per second, but 100 times per second. And that wave is going to go out, and the wave is going to go into your ears, and it's going to vibrate those oscillatory structures in your head that we talked about, and you'll be able to hear it. So I'm going to turn the amplitude down and turn the pitch up to 100. That's 10, sorry. Oh, now you can hear it. It's doing the same thing. As a matter of fact, it's not moving as far. And I want you to think about this. This cone is moving about 1 millimeter back and forth. So it's doing this 100 times a second and making this compression, and the compression wave is traveling outward. And you're exquisitely sensitive to be able to pick it up. You saw, when I was doing the 1 hertz wave, 100 times as big amplitude. You didn't sense it. But this one you can. You can sense it quite well, actually. Oh, but it turns out you're more sensitive to higher pitches. So I'm going to dial the amplitude down so that you can just barely hear it. As I turn the pitch up, it's not getting louder, but you're getting more sensitive. Right about there, you start to see a real increase in sensitivity. Increase in sensitivity yet? Right about here, I'm going to turn that down just because that's painful. Right about here, this is where most people have a maximum sensitivity, right about here. You're really sensitive to that, right? You can hear it quite well, and it's kind of unpleasant. Here's the thing. Why are your ears sensitive to pitches like that? I mean, you would think that your ears would be sensitive to the sounds of human speech because that's mostly what your hearing is about, is deciphering speech. That's mostly how your hearing has evolved to be very, very good at picking up on the sounds of other people's vocalizations. Oh, except I'm talking to you at about 250 hertz. So why are your ears so doggone sensitive at 3,500 hertz? I am speaking at 3,500 hertz. There's sounds coming out of me that are that high. You don't hear them, but they're there. And as a matter of fact, they're extremely important.